Blessings, 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 beloved. How's it going for you guys today? It's the first of the month, right? Time to pay my dues, and I wanted to come in and just, help you guys to get started, to just really be successful throughout the month. It's the beginning, it's a fresh start. It's all about, I'm all about the fresh start, right? Um, it's all about teaching you how to really excel out of your day, to be successful out of your day, to start implementing good habits now early out from the beginning of the month. So by the mid month, the end of the month, and onward, right, you are able to create a structure that may fit, right? Starting it now gives you time to test it, gives you time to improve it, gives you time to tweak it, to see how it fits in your world and how you can allow it to fit in your world. Now, the information that I give to you, the examples that I give to you, it's not always one sided. There are many different options, there's many different ways that you can really, utilize the tools to become more successful, right? And having having meaning throughout your day. So today I'm going to talk to you about having a more meaningful day when it regards to in regards to your scheduling, in regards to just getting things done, right? So I don't know if you're that type of person who's always feeling bored out of your day. Like a lot of us were forced to be home. It's a new structure to us, or some like myself would be like, "Oh, welcome to my world. I'm at home anyways." But to be at home, right? We must create a schedule, a habit, right? In order to feel like you've been successful, in order to feel excited, in order to feel like you have accomplished. Waking up in the same setting, doing the same thing routinely, not having any excitement around it is going to maybe make you feel bored. It's going to maybe stir up feelings such as like unsatisfaction in your life. You may start doubting yourself and having all these self sabotaging thoughts, right? You're really getting low and down on yourself because you haven't created such a structure. Because in your mind, right, you're like, there's nothing to do, right? Because you're doing your same day to day routine things. It's like you're like, I'm not. When someone asks you, what are you doing, or how was your day, you may say, oh, nothing, oh, it was okay, right? But these may be because you're not being active and making the plans that are necessary, right? So I'm going to show you how to plan out and structure your day, and right, also show you how to develop a routine around doing it, or even just how to start, right? We're all about the fresh start. We all got to start somewhere, and it's so easy to utilize what's in your hands, your knowledge, your tools, your skills, your talent. All of these things are so accessible to you because it's within you, right? Sometimes we just have to slow down to speed up, right? So first of the month, right? You want to wake up. Some oftentimes we're waking up and we're like, we have nothing to look forward to, right? So that's one of also the reasons why we may always feeling the way we feel, or set ourselves up to, what I've been saying lately is, experience trauma. Why should I suffer? Or I always say, like, well, why should no? Why would I put myself through sufferation? Like, someone, for example, in the week, someone said something to me and they're like, well, you wouldn't do that. And I'm like, well, I have options, right? Thankfully and gracefully. But had I put myself in a situation, having knowledge that I know my love language, I know how my life is kind of set up a way, I would really be sacrificing something that meant near and dear to me. So why would I put myself through suffering? You know what I mean? So I try to prevent that. I try to avoid that. So that's what I'm talking to you guys about. Why would you want to continue putting yourself through that type of cycle. Having nothing to look forward to, because again, you have nothing planned. So what do you have to plan, right? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the steps that you may have. I think I have what here? About five steps, right? 5 steps that you can start start to live a meaningful day or get enough success out of your day, right? So before we talk about that though, I want to talk to you about, just after you've created your list, after you've created your routine, after you have put into practice what you've learned here, right? Remember, passion is fuel, right? So you are now awakened. So how are you connecting that with passion? Because remember at the beginning we talked about how, you're bored, how you're feeling unsatisfied, and now you are here receiving a new perspective, having a different look onto your situation. So right there, right, you have now ignited or triggered a new passion for the same thing. But remember, passion is fuel. So how are you going to create things in your life to continue to create passion in your life? Because just like motivation, right, just like motivation, it dims away, it dies. So you have to continue to find reasons and ways and implement things in your life to continue to have these things present in your life, or take something out of your toolkit to say, hey, I'm feeling down. Like for example, when I was going through my cycle of just going down into deep depression and low vibrational energy, like I had to get into my toolbox and utilize what's around me. I have children, I had Netflix, I had things around me that I utilized, right, to make me laugh, to create an atmosphere of laughter and fun and enjoyment and entertainment inside of me. That's simply out of my toolkit, right? I didn't pay for none of that. I mean, I paid the price to bring my children here, yes. And I mean, I just jumped on somebody's Netflix, right? But in all assets, you ain't pay nothing, right? So utilize what's in your toolkit so that you can now get yourself into that state, because you set the state, you set the standard. And you may hear my tummy tum tum. I apologize. I went into workout, straight into just jumping on here. Not workout, sorry, meditation. Watching other people's lives this morning in my community and supporting them. And then jumping here. So I ended up taking some stuff that I was supposed to take, some supplements, drinking my water here now. And after I get this water into my system, right, then I am going to start going out and getting something to eat. So if you do hear my stomach join in the conversation, I apologize. Sometimes just unruly, just unruly, right? So when we're talking about passion, okay, so finding ways to get your passion. If you're interested in me coming and helping you or bringing some information about that, then let me know about ways to ignite the passion in you, right? I'm going to write it down, because if you guys start commenting and I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, so from your passion, if your passion is your fuel, right, then we must work on our purpose. Now, some of you guys say, well, I don't know what, you don't know what your purpose is, you don't know what you love and can do with it, even if you weren't getting monetary rewards. You don't know what that is. That's another soul work session. That's another let me reevaluate. But these steps are also the same steps that you can apply to every area, to every scenario, to any situations in your life. The steps that I'm going to share with you here today. And So you would be with these steps, you're going to be going away and be able to identify, right? Identify, well, know how to take out of your toolkit and help that you can use to help you identify in different areas in your life to find a solution, because we're all about a solution here, right? I we're about the, we have the problems, there's always a solution, and I'm bringing it. All right, so I'm always about the pen to paper. So the first step I'm going to tell you is create a list of daily tasks. Okay, so we're not talking about, oh, moving forward, we're going to do this. Oh, in the past, I used to do this. We're not there yet. We're at the starting point where I want you to really just look at your life right now. Look at your current situation. Look at what's happening today, right? What are you doing? What do you have scheduled out today? What do you like? Just look at what you're doing on a day to day basis, right? Create that list, write it out, list it out. Just that's where you start. It's like you're brainstorming right now. So list out the things you do today. So what is it that I do? Okay, I woke up today, thankful and grateful now, right? If you're a person who get into prayer and meditation, if you get into a person that just lays still, if many people don't realize that even in your stillness, that in itself is a prayer. Even in its stillness, that in itself is a blessing, because now you're in your meditative state, now you're in your listening state, right? So next thing, you get up, you go to the bathroom. What is it that you do? From the bathroom to the kitchen, right? What is it that you do, right? List that out, create that list, so that way you are able to identify the task that you are doing on a day-to-day basis, and which is number two, identification. Like, you need to realize what it is that you're doing. Hello, welcome, right? You need to identify what it is that you're doing on a day-to-day basis and how often you're doing it, right? And how regular it is, and is it done on a specific time, right? Is it? So now, once you can to identify that, right, now you are able to say, okay, let me convert this into a type of scheduling, into a type of calendar, into a type of system that now, okay, it's already being done. Now let me write it down so I can see it all in front of me. So now we're going to do a time block, right? And I will teach you how to do a time block once, once you're connected with me and you're in my program and we're, working through that. I'll teach you how to time block. So now you're saying, okay, boom, this is what I do. This is when I do it every day. If you're a young mama, if you're a nursing mama, if you have teenagers, if coming out of the school year, the children had a specific scheduling, right? And time blocking is so easy because we have been brought up on a time blocking system, right? I mean, when we are going to, like, when we're in high school, we get a schedule that has the time block. When we go to work, there are schedules that we would get in a sheet that has a time block. That's what a time block is, and that's what it would resemble in your life. But now, being at home, right? Being at home, we feel like we don't need a schedule. I already have a routine. But when you're creating a different type of lifestyle, when you're creating room for more, right? You need to create, or we must create a system based, a routine where we are able to follow through, so that we know what we can do. We know what other time within the day we have to add more things to our day that can be more productive for either our well-being, for either growth in different areas, or to increase to where can we find time to increase our finances, because isn't that what it's about right now, right? As we're building, as we're structuring out, right? We are really going to, like, that financial increase is really going to help you to really sustain, right, that stability after a certain time, right? So it's elevation at all costs, at all times, right? So you're time blocking, those events of your life. So when remembering when we're in school, or the children were in school, they knew they were getting up at a certain time, whether they're homeschooled, whether they're in, in the building, right? They knew at a certain time, and you knew that at a certain time, at 8:30, 9, your 8 to 9, your child is starting school or heading to daycare, right? 7 for some people. I remember sometimes I used to go to, when my children were in daycare, I would have to get like home care. And home care, we had the flexibility to be like, here you go. Um, I can jump in early, like on certain days, especially if it's not like an everyday event. Like you'll find those. And then there are those daycares that open at 7, right? Because some mamas have to work early. But you knew, right, at what point you were going to drop off your child, what point you had to be at work, and what time you were finished at work, or what time you have to go get your child back, right? Those are time blocks, right? So as a stay-at-home mom, as a person who's just having to be at home right now, right? All I have to do is wake up and drop my child to thing. Well, all I have to do today is wait until I have to go pick up my child. Oh, all I have to do today is when I go pick up my child, then I'm going to start preparing, taking care. All my time is devoted for that said reason, right? We as mothers can find the most excuses for the reasons that we use as our whys. And let me say that in a different way. Now, your whys, right? The reason why you do things, why I need to keep going, why I need, you know, I need to make sure that, I have food in my house, why I need to keep working this job, why I need to start this business, right? Your reasons for why always comes down to our children, our babies, our legacies, right? This is our reasons. But it's also the reason why we tend to miss out on opportunity. It's also the reasons why we limit ourselves, right, to do other things. So how is that possible? Well, because we also say, well, I have to take care, I have to spend time with my baby. I have to, I can't go away for that long because my baby. It's like you can't work between these hours because of my children, and when I get home, I have no time for myself because my children have this soccer, my children have this event, my children have. So it turns out to be the same reason why you started, and the same reason why you're limiting yourself, the same reason why I've started, and the same reason why I've limited myself in so many areas and possibly still doing it, right? But when we create a schedule now, we can identify the little time blocks that are spaced in between, and you find that you have way more room within your day. That 24 hours really tend to look like, wow, I can get so much done. Like you are doing 8 to 9 what subjects in a school year, semester, whatever, plus in addition to getting some physical activities and getting some extra curriculum activities, then leaving from there, going home, like we have a structure, but if it's not routine, it becomes overwhelming, right? And all we need to practice now is putting those things